All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us and for attending the annual Pennsylvania Insurance Department Section 1332 Reinsurance Public Forum. My name is Shannon Logue. I am the Deputy Insurance Commissioner at the department. And as you have noticed, we are recording this session. Switch the right screen there. And by continuing to participate in this meeting, you're consenting to be recorded. A link to the recording of this public forum will be posted to the department website to allow other interested parties to provide comment on the Section 1332 reinsurance program, and also to accept comments on the intent to extend the Section 1332 program during our open comment period, which ends today, November 14th, 2024. If, as a result of this forum, you need additional time to submit a comment, though, please just let us know and we will try to accommodate you. When you entered this virtual room, you may have been muted, so please remember to use the meeting controls to unmute and ask questions, to provide comments. You can also use the chat feature to type a question or make a comment. We will address questions following the prepared presentation. So Microsoft Teams has a live caption feature, which can display live captions and make the meeting more inclusive for participants who are deaf or hard of hearing, people with different levels of language proficiency, and patients or participants in loud settings and places, giving them the greatest opportunity to follow along. If you navigate to your meeting controls and you select those three dots for more options, you can select the turn on live captions to enable this feature. Currently, the only language available for live caption is English, though it does recognize multiple languages spoken. So notice that captions may be less accurate if there's a lot of background noise or if multiple attendees are speaking simultaneously. So to kick us off, I'm going to turn it over to Carolyn Bean. Carolyn, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Caroline Bain, your department's policy director. I am joined today by Deputy Commissioner Shannon Logue and our department's health insurance counsel, Sandy Aikema, and Ryan Schultz from Oliver Wyman. Today, we will provide a high-level overview of the Commonwealth's reinsurance program, PA3. Our presentation will include the plan year 2025 reinsurance parameter settings. Then we will discuss the intent to extend the Section 1332 program, including details about the actuarial and economic report and the timeline to submit the application. We plan to end with plenty of time for your questions and comments. To discuss Act 42 and Section 1332, I'm going to turn it over to Sandy Aikema, our Senior Health Insurance Officer.
Thank you, Caroline. Hello, everyone. I'm going to give a little background about the Section 1332 PA program, particularly the legislation. In July of 2019, Act 42 was signed into law by Governor Wolf, authorizing PID to establish a state-based exchange, which is known as Penny, submit a 1332 waiver application specific to a reinsurance program, which we did in February of 2020, and secure funding for that reinsurance program, which began on January 1, 2021. The term Section 1332 comes from the section of the Affordable Care Act, or ACA, that allows a state to pursue innovative programs and modify the rules outlined in the ACA. A state may do this to tailor healthcare coverage options to meet the unique needs of its market and its residents. A 1332 waiver program, by lowering the cost of individual health insurance in the state, saves the federal government money it would otherwise have spent on the state's residents through the ACA's financial affordability programs, that is, premium tax credits and cost-sharing reductions. But those federal funds still come to the state. The waiver reallocates those funds to state-specific initiatives so long as certain guardrails are met. Another way of saying it is that the federal funds are passed through to the state, in this case Pennsylvania, to benefit Pennsylvanians. Currently, 16 states, including Pennsylvania, have received 1332 waivers to implement reinsurance programs that are already measurably lowering premiums for the residents from what they otherwise would have been without the program. Now, in establishing the state reinsurance program, we're continually assessing that the program stays within the following guardrails as required by the ACA, making sure that coverage is at least as comprehensive as ACA coverage. Coverage is at least as affordable as ACA coverage. Coverage is available to a comparable number of state residents, and that PA-RE, the reinsurance program, does not increase the federal deficit. What coverage does the waiver impact? The waiver does not affect or make changes to Medicare, Medicaid, CHIP, the Veterans Administration or VA health insurance plan, or self-insured plans through your employer. Rather, the waiver addresses the private individual health insurance market only. Now, for an update on PA-RE's parameter setting for plan year 2025, I will turn it back over to Deputy Insurance Commissioner Shannon Logue.
Thank you, Sandy. So I'll go through a few updates that describe how the program works to include funding and how the parameters are set annually. So you can see illustrated on the slide, the program is funded by both a state user fee and a federal government reinsurance contribution. That state user fee is assessed on insurers that sell coverage through the exchange, Penny, that used to go to the federal government to run that exchange. But Pennsylvania now has a state-based exchange program. It's called Penny again. Some of the user fee can go to the reinsurance program. The federal portion based on subsidy premium savings is also called, as Sandy explained, the pass-through funds. Together, these funds are used to reimburse qualified individual market health insurers for those claims that qualify and fall within the reinsurance parameters. Each year, the state works with actuarial experts, the insurers, and Penny to determine what the upcoming year's parameters should be. You will notice that the reinsurance program total pool shows on here that it fluctuates from year to year, so we show it as a range. So how does the reinsurance program work? When a company provides health insurance, they provide insurance coverage for many people, and there are times when those claims are extremely high due to the nature of an illness or an injury of an individual. Insurance companies need to collect enough premiums from all of their insureds to pay all of their claims, including potential claims with high medical costs. So under this program, reinsurance will reimburse health insurers for a portion of a coinsurance or for a portion of a qualified claim. So we have a coinsurance rate is the portion above a certain threshold, which we call the attachment point, and up to a set cap, which we have on here calling the reinsurance cap. But by removing that portion or some of the high medical cost claims from their calculation of premium rates, insurers can reduce the amount of premium insureds pay because some of those high medical costs are covered and paid by reinsurance. For the current year of the program, which began January 1st, 2024, the adopted parameters were an attachment point of $60,000, a cap of $100,000, and a coinsurance rate of $50,000. But the parameters for plan year 2025, which began January 1st, 2025, are based on current projections of utilization and healthcare cost trends, which is an attachment point of $60,000, a cap of $100,000, and then what's changed is the coinsurance rate, which increased to 60%. Pennsylvania anticipates applying to extend the Section 1332 waiver program for an additional 5-year term. Back in October 2023, the department sent a letter of intent to CMS and CCIO indicating our intent to file an application to extend the reinsurance program. You can find that letter and the updated actuarial and economic report posted on the department's website at www.insurance.pa.gov/PA1332 waiver. The public comment period is open from October 12th and it closes today on November 14th. The department anticipates submitting the extension application in December, which will include all public comments and responses and the updated actuarial and economic assessment. If, as a result of this forum, you need additional time to submit a comment, please just let us know and we will try to accommodate you. Since the public forum also includes opportunities to comment on the extension application, I'll go through a few slides to give an overview of the actuarial and economic report. As many of you may recall, the Federal Inflation Reduction Act temporarily extended the enhanced subsidies, which initially started under the American Rescue Plan Act in 2021. These enhanced subsidies increased enrollment, which is reflected on the slide and shows about a 19% increase in enrollment between 2021 and 2024. The number of individuals who qualified for subsidies increased due to these measures, resulting, of course, in an increase in enrollment. The projections and assumptions in this report are for the 5-year extension period, which begins January 2026 and ends December 31st, 2030. So as a reminder, the report reflects the laws that will be in place during that 5-year period as they are currently. Those enhanced subsidies are set to expire December 31st, 2025. So the enhanced subsidies substantially reduced net premium costs for enrollees receiving premium tax credits, where many plans could be obtained for as little as $10 a month. The graph shows that from 2025 to 2026, there's an anticipated enrollment reduction of about 19%. So said differently, approximately 100,000 covered lives are expected to either elect coverage elsewhere or become uninsured. While the reinsurance program helps to reduce those premiums by about 4 to 5% from what the premiums would have been without the program, the enhanced subsidies reduce net premiums by about 44% on average. If enhanced subsidies are continued beyond 2025, and this would take an act of Congress, we would anticipate these numbers to change. This slide shows what the reinsurance pool would have to be to maintain that 4 to 5% reduction in premium from what the premiums would be otherwise without the program, while accounting for a loss of the 19% enrollment. And holding the amount of pass-through to around 64%, the amount of state funds would actually have to increase year over year to reinsure the program. The state funding comes from premium fees collected for individuals enrolled in Penny. And with a loss of about 19% enrollment, it would mean a reduction in the available state funding. And as explained earlier, the net cost to the state is funded by a state user fee, which is assessed on insurers that sell coverage through the exchange. Those user fees fund Penny as well as the reinsurance program. So the federal portion of the funding is dependent also on enrollment. So this drives those premium subsidy savings, resulting in a pass-through to fund the program. We anticipate that the reflected state funding amounts that are shown on the screen would not be sustainable. The PID would instead have to annually assess what the reinsurance parameters would be, aligning to the available state funding, which is driven by Penny enrollment. So to walk us through the public comment process, I'm going to turn it back over to our policy director, Carolyn Bean. Thanks, Carolyn.
Hey, Shannon. On October 12th, we published the annual bulletin announcing this public forum and the comment period. We are still within the 30-day public comment period, which began on Saturday, October 12th, and ends today, Thursday, November 14th, 2024. Again, if as a result of this forum, you need additional time to submit a comment, please let us know and we will try to accommodate you. Comments may be sent via email to ra-in-pa 1332 waiver@pa.gov or by mail to the Pennsylvania Insurance Department, 1332 Innovation Waiver, to the attention of Elizabeth Evans at 1326 Strawberry Square, Harrisburg, PA 17120. For additional reinsurance program information updates, visit our dedicated webpage at www.insurance.pa.gov/PA 1332 waiver. For specific questions about our reinsurance parameters, the actuarial and economic report, or the extended application, feel free to take yourself off mute and ask your question or comment now. You can also use the chat features to type your question or comment. Finally, you can still mail or email your comment to the Bureau of Life, Accident, and Health Rates and Forms. Also, there are multiple channels for you to contact us and keep up with news related to the department, including phone, website, email, Facebook, and Twitter. At this time, we will open it up for questions. Please remember to unmute or use the chat feature in Teams to ask your question and make your comment.
And I do see a few people who have joined. If you don't mind putting inside the chat your name and the company or department that you represent, that would be greatly appreciated. And again, if you have questions, please feel free to ask them. Thanks, Colleen. Thanks, Anna Polina. David, I wasn't sure if you were able to type in the chat. You just did. Thank you. We're going to stay on the phone and hold the meeting open for the remainder of the hour. You're welcome to stay with us, or if you want to drop, you're more than welcome. And again, if you have questions, comments, you could do it here. You could put it in chat. And if you want to have more time to submit something, please reach out, let us know, and we'll be happy to see if we can accommodate you to get that response submitted. Otherwise, closes by the end of today. And we're going to just sit on here and keep the meeting live. So if there are questions, just let us know. Okay, thank you, everybody, for joining. We'll go ahead and end this session. Just for record, there were no comments or questions, but thank you guys for joining. Hope you have a great day.